I had to motorsport, give it a couple of minutes, and then we'll get crack-a-lacking. So did you enjoy last night, Scotty?
I really did. Uh, as I said in team chat this morning, I really just needed a night like that, just playing a fun game with some good
A
people.
blow-off night.
Yeah, it's been quite a while since I've had one, and it was really nice.
Well, well, Scotty, if you're ever feeling bored on a Saturday, you can come and join my crew. They're just as insane as me.
What do you do on Saturdays?
We do everything from Horizon 4, Uno, Monopoly, Rainbow Six, uh, basically anything stupid to have a laugh at.
I may take you up on that at points.
You're always welcome, Scotty. But, I mean, at the moment, you know how some electric vehicles have come into Horizon 4, like the Tachyon and
Yeah,
stuff? Me and my friends have invented the dumbest thing ever of reverse infection.
because they're single geared, the reverse is really
Yeah,
long too.
because the because they're single gear, we just all go in reverse. And tell you something, it makes it 20 times more difficult.
That would be bloody difficult on a wheel. I can barely drive in reverse in a straight line, and yeah.
Well, well, we have what's known as a baby, intermediate, pro, and insane. The baby is the I-Pace. The intermediate is the IDR. Then you got the pro of the Rimac. Then you got the insane of the Tachyon.
I haven't even driven the Rimac or Tachyon.
The Tachyon is heavy. It's shit. Don't use it. It's literally just there to drive for 10 minutes, say, "Oh, this is cool," and then never touch again. And the Rimac can give the Monaco a run for its money in a drag race if you get the right squat tune.
Ah.
It still can't beat it, obviously, because of that weird little funky two-gear box they have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, probably still won't touch it. It'd be a miracle if I load the game up again.
You know Ephes, who joined me on Friday off the
Yes.
commentary booth. Oh my god. He said if I ever make him drive an electric vehicle, he's actually going to sue me for harassment.
Bro,
So yeah.
I know Aaron here all completely hates electric vehicles. Any mention of them makes him want to puke. Um, but I'm actually a bit of a fan of electric vehicles.
So am I, especially some of the newer breed. It's
Mhm.
like, oh, it's actually quite
But do you
nice.
want to hear what I like more? Hybrids. Because they're the best of both worlds. But do you want
It
to hear what my
depends.
least favorite thing is ever? Hybrid cars
Go
in
on.
Forza, because they're so crap compared to what they should be. Like, I went having a Assetto Corsa and being able to drive like the LMP1 hybrids with their proper hybrid
Budget
system.
Jacksepticeye speaks sense again. Jubert's already in chat. Oh my god, the little chat box saying, "Sup, wonderful talkers. Not Toyota Prius, they ooh." Jubert, have you actually seen the new Prius? It actually looks kind of nice, I'm going to admit.
I'd still blow it up.
Okay, before you judge me, go onto the Toyota website and have a look. It actually looks like like the GR Yaris shape
No,
now. It,
I may have left.
just
I
have a.
may have left Furious, but I would still follow the rule of Prius, blow it up.
Oh my god. Jubas. Oh god, I'm already getting names wrong. Jubit in chat saying it's a Prius, they must die. Yeah, but not when they're your Uber. You know, they're actually quite helpful.
You put in a complaint to Uber.
Hey, that is a life hack for anyone who doesn't know it. Anyone who drives a Prius on Uber, the fee is 22% cheaper than any other vehicle.
Really?
Yeah, so like, let's say you've got a journey that costs you a tenner. In a Prius, it'll only cost you £7.80. I'm not even joking. It's something on Uber's app where it's like, you know, 3-cylinder hybrids. Because the only vehicles I currently know that do that is the i8, which I've never seen on Uber, and a Prius. But yeah, the Priuses are cheaper on Uber. That's why I'm a big fan, because I'm a skinflint.
That's quite a predicament. Prius, but you save money, or just much better car.
Yeah, but Scotty, just think. I actually worked it out. The amount of times I use Uber, I get roughly 7 free Uber rides a month just by choosing a Prius.
So I assume you don't drive then?
Oh no, I do, but where I go to, I would rather have someone else wreck their car. Because the amount of work I do, I am still doing work on the way to work on my laptop.
Ah.
Then I get there, continue it, and then get in and do it. So that way, I actually have a home life to do this.
That
But
makes perfect sense. I mean,
but there's no time like the present. Welcome one, welcome all back to FTC TV. I am still all alone. My Norwegian life mate is still on his bed, gobbling pizza and laughing at me doing this solo.
he
So,
said to us last
send-
night he might be here, but he hasn't turned up.
Scotty, I haven't introduced you yet.
Well then go on!
Anyway, well, as you just heard then, I've got budget Chinese knockoff Jacksepticeye of Mr. That Scotty guy here in the booth with me still today, so we've still got 2. How are you, Scotty?
Feeling good, feeling refreshed. Only woke up at noon today. I was about to say this morning or this afternoon, and I realised that's noon is neither.
Well done. For those of you who just tuned in, we are on round 6 / the finale of the GT Speed World Challenge. We are at the beautiful raceway of Laguna, Seca. Qualifying is 3 laps, so 1 out lap and 2 hot lap qualifying. Useful if you make any of those little mistakes, like a cough, Scotty with a curb, cough. Both races will be held here. Both races will be 22 laps. And for both races, the pit window is between laps 4 to 18. And there's no virtual safety car at the end of the pit window. So from lap 19 onwards,
Indeed.
there's no safety car. Infernus saying, what's happening, dudes? Infernus, you were just talking to us. Not much. King says, Scotty, beam me up. Metal is being an ass. What's new, King? And Jubit says, I'ma win this race. You've got quite a lot of people standing in your way of that, Jubit, because you've got Phoenix, Aaron McGrath, Jubit, Crow, Infernus. Sendit is back in the monster stang. Sergio, Star Hooper, aka Anime Boy. We've got a new driver today, Simon Kazuto. Apologies if I'm saying your name
Reread
wrong.
that, Metal. You said Simon, it's not Simon, it's Sinon.
Okay, the text is like microscopic, Scotty. Okay, Sinon Kazuto.
Don't worry, I got
Whatever.
you. I got you with my forecast.
Okay, Sinon. There, we've got a new driver, Sinon. There we go. stops me looking like an ass. Rude Turtle's here. Ren is here. Let's hope I don't call him Crow again, because he wanted to kill me last time. And rounding off the crib, we've got Mr. Agile Apollo. So, many good cars today and many good drivers. However, Scotty, do you know what's happening today which is different from the rest?
I do not.
The Porsches have a power handicap.
Ooh, so that's what the driver buckets are for.
The Porsches have a 5%, I believe, power handicap. Jubit saying, I got myself in my way. Okay. Sakura appearing with a smiley. How are you, Barniers, you wonderful human being? Qualifying is underway. And as they make their hot laps, we can make some predictions. So, out of pre-testing, the Audis were, there's no other way to say it, extremely fast. And they're certainly a contender. Who are you going to be looking out for today, Scotty?
I'm gonna be looking out for Hooper. They've not raced much in this series, so I'm looking forward to see what they can do. I'm also looking forward to see how Crow and Aaron do in those Porsches now with a handicap. How much of a challenge can they keep up?
Well, the thing is, with their power handicap, they are the exact same speed as the fastest second contender in this race, which is the Audis, believe it or not. The Audis are very fast around this track, meaning the Porsches and the Audis are exactly the same pace.
Ooh, interesting. And of course that Audi's going to have the stability of its four-wheel drive, which is probably going to be quite helpful over the crest of turn 1. Hopefully none of the drivers will be invalidating their laps straight away there, as we have our first cars starting their first lap.
Sakura says, I'm well excited for the grand finale. German engineering at its best. Well, there's actually 3 different manufacturers here of German cars. Sakura, you're going to have to be more specific. And AMS Huracan saying, I disagree, Metal. Disagree with what? Huracan. Disagree with what? I have said many things.
Everything.
Yeah, well, that's Huracan being a human toilet, so. However, all the drivers are now on their first of 2 flying laps. Let's hope, fingers crossed, they don't muddy it. Huracan in testing before this stream started, Phoenix was the fastest person on the grid. Okay, Huracan. Send it had a little bit of an off. And the Porsche has got a power handicap now. So, yeah.
So the driver's pushing it to the absolute limit, using all of the carbs in the final sector now. As we're about to see our first lap times, as Phoenix leads the way to the line, starting off with a 1:34. As Sendit takes provisional pole.
With a 1:32, can anyone topple that? We've still got a good chunk of races to go. Jubit locking up in that BMW.
So far after the first laps, we've Sendit, the only ones in the 32s, no one in the 33s just yet. Hooper doing a good job taking second with a 34.0. Crow with a 34.4. Phoenix 34.6 just out of Ren. Aaron takes up 6th place ahead of Jubair, Sergio and Furnace and Rude Turtle round out the top 10 provisionally.
That is a good sounding top 10. Also, Huracan, that power handicap was imposed about an hour beforehand due to severe unbalanced natures of the build. Also, Huracan, are you not racing tonight?
Well, there's going to be no improvement from Phoenix. He's cut the corkscrew.
It is so easy to cut that corkscrew.
It really is, especially with it being blind. Let's see.
Phoenix has pulled over.
Of course, now that the leaders have crossed the line, the game refuses to show us any more lap times.
Because Forza being Forza.
Currently, Ren's put into provisionally P4 until Aaron has come in and beat him to P4. Phoenix has dropped down to 6th now.
Huracan, how many times have we say, wake up, you lazy swine? So send it in first, Hooper in second, and Crow in third. This is going to be an interesting launch because Hooper is going to be on a very touchy side of the track for lights out. And if he gets sandwiched, that is going to be severe damage. Going back to chat, we've got Crow saying, yeah, the Porsche having a handicap was a last minute decision made by me and Aaron, because we were like, fuck it. So there's Crow being Crow. Huracan saying fair enough, and in fairness, finishing off saying, I want beer. Okay.
Do you have any beer to give out?
No, I am sober boy.
Same here. So, unless you've some beer yourself, in fairness, you're not getting any from us.
Jubit said Crow will also said he will let me beat him. He never said beat him in what game though. Sakura also saying no, Dave. No, you will not have the drink. Well, he's got to have some drink, otherwise he loses all talent. Crow covering himself like a lawyer saying, I want it on record that I never said this.
Well, Crow, you technically did when you said you might not even compete in the first race in Team Chad earlier. That would have allowed you Bert to beat you.
Juba, that's DayZ, not Forza. You be slow boy.
Proof.
Crow backing me up there saying, that means literally nothing. Hooper in chat saying, I'll gladly take that time in the BMW because I really don't think it's that good here. Okay, you don't have a right to say that when you're second. Huracan saying the BMW is decent. Hooper saying, what do you mean? You know what, Juba? Agreed. The top three can't moan about anything. Yes, thank you for reminding me, Dave. Apart from the power handicap, do you know there's another interesting fact, Scotty, about the cars on the grid today?
Ooh, go ahead.
Scroll down to Mr. Infernus in his Rockstar Vet.
Yes.
He is the only person driving the Vet today.
He is indeed. I wonder if he can keep up the honour of the vets being the only non-German car here today.
Apart from the Mustang, but we'll gloss over that point.
Oh. Wait, there's...
Oh, good.
I forgot there was 5 cars in this series, I'll be honest. I thought there was only 4.
Scotty's brain is already checked out.
Yeah, I blame testing as doing earlier for MEC.
In fairness, backing you up a little, saying Mustang does have German bulbs. Oh. Gibbet, you bastard. You to replace BMW with Corvette.
Well, that would mean
and
there's a few more Corvettes on the field.
Oh, he's saying the light bulb joke. It was a bright idea. In fairness, one more dad joke. I will take said bulb, plant it up your bottom, and make you sit down very quickly and listen if it breaks. Sacrificing Juvit with the points.
Well, no, we've no of those cars that in fairness was driving. They're all BMWs now.
Inferno saying, where do I sign up? What?
We're gonna have to get him the light bulb now.
Are we seriously just gonna have another string command that says exclamation point Dave and it just says, I'm a pretty light bulb?
Might as well.
I will send that to Haseo immediately. Hooper wouldn't be too sure on that. But no, for those of you who just joined us, we are a couple of moments away from lights out for race 1. Are you excited, Sky?
I am indeed. This is a titanical track, easy to make mistakes as there's no runoff. As soon as you put a wheel over the curb, it's into the sand. So hopefully, this should create for some good racing. And if it doesn't, we still have the reverse grid race later on to get excited for.
And if all else fails and there's nothing happening on track, there's nothing happening in the chat, we can always talk our random, faithful cake talk.
Or, I have another topic we could talk about that might interest you.
Uh-oh.
But I'll save that for later.
Oh, you little tease. You're like Viagra in front of a pensioner. It's like, I want. He's like, I want it. No, 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 get out of the chair. Send it. No, we have not got any Haseo again. He is enjoying his disconnect vacay, but he should be back either Friday or Saturday. And if not, I'm going to beat him to death with an icicle.
Just hope that icicle doesn't melt before you can beat him to death.
I'll find a big icicle. You know, one of those chunky ones that it's like, if that falls on me, I will split in half.
So one that you're not strong enough to carry?
Now, it is in the theory of, like, fucking imagination, Scotty. I never said I'm that strong. No, I would usually either beat him to death with something else.
That'd probably be a wise idea.
Am I really taking a murder advice from an Irishman? This is something else.
Well, I mean, you didn't do a great job yesterday, did you?
Okay, okay, okay. Right, for those of you who are waiting for this race to start, we decided as a team, some of us will play Dead by Daylight. Now, for those of you not familiar, one of you is a killer and 4 of you are survivors, and the survivors have to escape. Sounds simple enough. I was a guy with a hammer and a chainsaw. I chainsawed in half Haseo, Dave, and Crow. Scotty, I smacked in the back in the head with a hammer. He was bleeding, fell down a hole, and magically escaped within 2 seconds. And I was like, "I'm sorry, game. That's just bull." Crow, you can't say anything. You died nearly every round. Crow, you are not God at duping the killer. I hit you over the head, you were bleeding all over the ground, then you thought I was going to carry you to a hook, but instead, I chainsawed you in half on the ground. Also, Scotty, quick question for you.
Go on.
Why are you still tremendously bad at going over curbs?
I don't know. It's not been as bad recently. That's
Okay,
just Forza.
let me do my doubtful voice that
I mean, the only problems I had at Spa MEC was Rouge and Radion. Those aren't curb related. That's just sketchy car.
Blame the car before the driving, classical excuse. Going back to chat quickly, we've got Sakura saying, Scotty using the power of Forza physics against you, love to see it. Inferno saying, here come the rules. Huracan saying, my eyes are half open right now, FML. Crow saying, come on Dave, rules are made to be broken. Sakura saying no heroics into turn 1. I hope there's heroics going into turn 1 because that would be hilarious.
If you're brave enough, you might get some air.
Oh lord, and now Huracan wants to drive the entire field into the back.
Just take the pit exit road on the inside of turn 2.
And Barnier's in chat encouraging him. Barnier's, you're a bad influence. And Huracan saying, do you double dog dare me? Oh god. Oh lord, these two. Sakura, I know how to do IQ plays. It's just the thing with Huracan is, he's a bit of a prick, so I treat him as such. See, he agrees with me, so, eh. Well, you don't have to be, you just choose to be a massive knob. Well, Crow, if he's the cactus, I know someone who's the goddamn Indian bed of nails. Mind you, random question whilst we are still waiting for this to start. Scotty,
Yes.
would you ever lie on one of those beds?
What bed?
The bed of nails.
Maybe. If I had like someone showing me how to get on it safely, probably I would. But if it's just by myself, then no. I won't trust myself.
Or just like, oh, I'll sit down, impale.
I mean, there's obviously a safe way to do it, so if someone can teach me that safe way to do it, then why not?
Fair enough. Now, to those of you who are new in chat, this is your obligatory audible warning that I get very loud. So turn down your volume for, well, the first 10 seconds, and then you can resume because I get very loud, don't I, Scotty?
You do indeed. I've turned you down.
That's rude. And hurtful. I'm gonna cry. Lights out, away we go, and there's a three-way already happening for first place here as Send It, Crow and Hooper are going to rewind into turn one. It's going to be so close. Send It's on the inside. Aaron locks up. Aaron spins.
We have a restart already because two cars at the back for the pack got tangled through turn one, and someone ended up getting spun.
Crow says, one, God damn it, Hooper, and two, God damn it, restart. Yeah, Hooper, there's a reason. The weight is over the driven wheels. It's called physics!
Wait, Forza has physics?
Yeah, they do. They're bad physics, but they're physics.
Just how bad?
Eh, they're not the worst.
And is that enough said?
Yeah, before we get sued.
He's gonna sue us.
Oil merchants.
Sure, I
Want to be
guess.
FTC members. Leprechauns. People have offended. In that case, that list is very long.
Yeah. Not then I'd be a bit worried.
Robin in chat saying insta restart. Woohoo. Oh god. Audible warning again. Lights out, away we go, and Crow this time gets blocked off by Hooper. Hooper being a very, very sneaky boy. Going side by side with... Oh, there goes Phoenix.
Yep, Phoenix has been spun. He's managed to get back under control and stay out of everyone's way, so we will probably continue with this.
That was very nice driving from Phoenix. Actually, I commend him for that. Hooper in a firm second place, but the true battle at the moment is at third, going through these tight corners where you got Aaron McGrath with his teammate bearing down on him of Crow. He shuts the door on his teammate. Crow struggling to get past with Ren up his tail. I got his name right this time because last time I said Crow is coming on the inside of Crow and that was not the right thing at all. Crow getting very sideways as Aaron nudges his front end, almost causing an accident, but these are professionals. They know what they're doing. Well, I say professionals in the loosest sense of the word. Crow is having a nightmare with Ren behind him. It is a repetition of Spa in the MEC Championship. If you haven't seen that, the VOD is in this channel. Go and check it out.
And guess who's already nearly in this fight?
Oh god, it's the pink monstrosity of Huracan.
It was pretty much at least a move every turn for the first half of the lap. But they've been stuck behind Sergio for a few corners now.
Sergio's in sixth. Get in there, my son!
Hurricane gets a better run out of turn 2
Yeah.
and gets up the inside of Sergio going in towards turn 3. And then it's now on for chasing the battle for third.
So, mind you, going up to said battle in third. Aaron McGrath has got a lot of heat bearing down on him of both Crow and Ren. Ren is surprisingly paced in that BMW. I don't know what's happened today. That is some seriously impressive pace that Ren is putting out, but Huracan is closing and closing fast. Crow is having to defend from Ren here. Ren is on the inside, but Crow has got the faster line. Crow gets significantly better speed out of the final corner, and Ren has to settle for sitting behind the pigeon once again. Ren is certainly keeping up with Crow. Crow is not managing to... Oh, but Ren clips a bit of the sand, forcing Huracan to do an emergency brake so that they didn't take each other out. Now, Sender is already making a commanding lead, and it's only getting further. But however, the battle is still hot for third place, where there's now a four-way happening for third place between Aaron McGrath, Crow, Ren, and Huracan.
Meanwhile, Phoenix has just got up into P10 ahead of Root Turtle after that 360 into turn 1 on the opening lap.
Well done, Phoenix, doing a tremendous work of actually gaining those places back. And I say that and he drifts through a corner. And Dave also doing very well in the Corvette, currently sat in 12th. Good on you, Dave. It appears we already have a back straggler. Who is that? It is Sinan, who's obviously had some sort of collision. Bad news for Sinan. Ren now on board with Ren, who's got Huracan behind them, but Crow and Aaron in front of them.
This battling with Ren, Crow and Hurricanes just allowed Aaron to get away, and now Crow's starting to get away too.
Crow is being quite conservative on the brakes today. Don't think they want to make a mistake. Because no matter what happens, Crow and Aaron have won the team championship. So they can finish anywhere and they take it today.
And also Crow is vying for the lead of the driver's standings, battling with Ren, so he's already ahead of Ren at this point, even though Ren's having a look. But Crow's got the point advantage, so he doesn't need to throw it away.
All Crow needs to do is just have an easy time. Oh, and Crow is going in for a pit very early.
That's a bold gamble.
The pit window has only just opened. So this is...
Meanwhile, we've got
very...
Root Turtle and Infernus going side by side down the start finish straight. After Apollo's just overtaken both of them. Root Turtle a bit deep on the brakes on the outside. Locked it up.
And here comes Star on the inside of Root Turtle. Two Stangs side by side.
Star trying to hold it around the outside, but just has to back out of it. As meanwhile, Hurricane's still looking for a way to get past Ren. He's being patient about it, and thus both of them are have caught up to the back of Aaron.
Being very patient about it.
As these three head through the corkscrew now. They're looking for the gaps, looking for the opportunities, but none have been presented so far.
Apollo blocking off Infernus. Infernus has obviously got the more speed, but Apollo has got stability on their side.
Hurricane's just gone round the outside of Ren into the final corner. It's as clean as you like, and that's up to P4 currently. Next up, Aaron McGrath.
Huracan is certainly putting the work in today, putting most of these boys and girls to shame. However, his true arch rival, Mr. TXR Sender, is still in first.
Meanwhile, Jubers just put a send on Robin into turn 2. Robin's tried to get the cutback on the exit, but has the outside for turn 3. He's going for the cutback again, trying to get the inside. They touch a bit on the exit. Robin looking for a gap. The gap wasn't quite there. And has to back out of it. But this battling's only allowing Phoenix to catch up in the background.
Phoenix is certainly looking for a bit more redemption after that, well, not even first corner spin. Oh, and Robin's gone off.
And now Ren's looking to the inside of Aaron as they come through this fast left-hander after the corkscrew. Aaron's held it round the outside for now, but he's tight into the penultimate right-hander. Ren has to slot him behind, but is looking for a move into the final corner. He's up the inside, but Aaron holds around the outside for now. He gets the better exit down the start finish straight now. As they head on to lap 7. Over the crest, heading towards turn 2. Ren sends it down the inside, can't get stopped. He can indeed. Aaron once again trying to hold it around the outside, but Ren nearly got ahead. Aaron with the better momentum on the exit. These two still going
Ren
side by
is
side.
on the outside.
And Aaron can slot ahead once again.
But will Ren try and go for the undercut? No, he can't. He touches the rear, loses all momentum. Robin texting in chat with a crying emoji. We're sorry for that. Robin, we did see.
Yeah, the question is that battling between Aaron and Ren is going to be costing them time compared to Crow, who's already made their mandatory stop. But Crow's starting to catch up to traffic. They've just passed Star. I've got Root Turtle and Dave ahead of them. So the question is, when Aaron and Ren pit, will they come out ahead of Crow?
Because I believe it's a one mandatory pit
It
stop,
is,
correct?
and Aaron is just coming to the pits to take it.
So Crow is going to be losing nothing but time with these back markers. Well, not even back markers, but the slower traffic. As Root Turtle gets very drifty, Crow going side by side. Makes the move stick. Crow up to 12th.
Aaron's coming onto the end of the pit lane. He's just reached the exit now. Starting to accelerate. It's gonna be close. But Crow just about gets ahead.
Only just.
And meanwhile, Hurricane has caught up to Hooper for second place. As they're making their way to the corkscrew now.
Oh, in fairness, making a tight little inside defensive move on Crow. Crow is certainly working for this as they are going side by side up the hill towards the corkscrew. Crow managing to get ahead of them just.
That defending from Dave also allowed Aaron to get past them with relative ease, but certainly cost them all time. And with Ren in clean air now, he could very well come ahead.
This is gonna be painful as Huracan is looking for an inside move on Hooper. For second place, Hooper is going extremely wide.
Harkin got the bear drive out of the corner and Hooper's just going to have to slot in behind. A little bit of a slide on the curb there. But
Hooper though hanging on.
Hooper so realising they don't have the pace to fight Harkin and they're better off just not slowing themselves down. And to not allow Ren to catch up any further. Who has a 3-second lead over.
Going back to chat quickly, Sakura saying Aaron defending the outside of a fast corner, learning that lesson from the 80s Holy Trinity. Which Aaron do you mean? Do you mean Aaron McGrath or Aaron Crow?
Well, Aaron's looking to try and get past Apollo now to not let Crow go flying off into the distance. Apollo's had a bit of a dodgy run this part of the lap. They've gone in deep to the corkscrew.
And that allows McGrath to catch up.
Apollo getting all sideways out of the left-hander. That allows Aaron to go up the inside. And he's not quite got the move done yet.
They're side by side coming into the final corner. McGrath who's got the tighter line, but Apollo has got the faster line.
Apollo using the all-wheel drive of the Audi to his advantage as they head up over the crest. Aaron braver on the brakes into turn 2, but Apollo just eases off as they get towards the apex. So Aaron has to concede for now. Meanwhile, Crow's already got nearly a 3-second gap ahead of them. You can see how much time Aaron is just losing in this battle.
They are losing a heck of a lot of time.
And meanwhile, Phoenix has got into 5th place ahead of Joubert.
Phoenix doing quite a remarkable job. I know they still have to pit, but they are racing very well, especially after that first spin.
Aaron once again all over the rear bumper of Apollo. Apollo defending into the corkscrew. Aaron takes a wide line in. Both get good exits. As they come through the left-hander, both of them sliding a bit once again. Into the penultimate corner, Aaron's driven it into the inside wall. And that's lost him a couple of positions. He's fallen behind Dave and Rude Turtle now. And he's got damage as he makes his way to the pits.
That it will be a second pit stop for Aaron McGrath.
So while those battles he was in weren't really for position because people he was fighting were still yet to pit, now that he's had to make another pit stop, those are the people he'll be fighting for in the rest of this race. A costly mistake for him.
Apollo and Infernus are still battling it out.
I've noticed watching Apollo, he's being a bit more aggressive with the curbs and the edges of the track.
We can afford to be in the Audi because of the four-wheel drive.
That's just what I was about to say. He has been sliding around and overdoing it a couple of times, but been using it to his advantage so far to also make his car that little bit wider.
Apollo is still doing quite well, and Dave especially, or should I say his official title, Mr. Infernus, is still holding on to the back of Apollo quite well. However, you've got to remember that vet is very lively on the rear, meaning one just slight actuation of the throttle and boom, you're sliding. Apollo, though, breaks off, and so does Rude Turtle as they go for their mandatory pit stops. Going back to chat quickly, Seca saying the old switcheroo and F for Aaron, and Robin in chat saying, God damn, my driving has gone out the window. Robin, when was it ever inside the window?
Meanwhile, we've got a few more people paying. Sergio, Phoenix, and Robin were in the pits.
Everyone is starting to spread out. All 12th and 3rd are very close. Rude Turtle is all over the rear of Aaron McGrath. McGrath has got to pick up the pace once more.
I expect Aaron to try and be closing in on the people ahead to make up for his mistake there. Also worth noting, Hooper's made their mandatory pit stop. And we've got someone else into the pits.
Whoa! Who went off in turn one? Who went off in turn one?
That was Sinon.
No, Aaron McGrath. Aaron McGrath has spun.
That looked quite odd. Looked like Aaron just ran wide, getting distracted with Sinon's mistake, and then lost it completely by himself with the Porsche. Sakura said they collided and got into the back of Sinon.
McGrath, ooh! And Sinon getting in the way of McGrath, and McGrath is having a very, very bad race here.
Luckily for him and Crow, the team's championship is already wrapped up as far as they're concerned.
They're very lucky in that case, because this race is, without a shadow of a doubt, a disaster. Sergio currently being hunted down by Phoenix for 7th place.
Phoenix still in this recovery drive from his 360 off the start from the race.
And as recovery drives go, it is quite an impressive one.
Yes, this has been pretty decent, fighting for P7 now. He's made his pit stop, so this is for position. If he gets past Sergio, Infernus is only 3 seconds further up the road. So there's a potential 2 more positions as they start lap 14 of this race. Ooh, very close there into turn 2.
Very, very close into turn 2.
He thinks about moving to turn 4. But it's just a bit too far back, even with Sergio's per exit. He's going for the dive into turn 5. Sergio leaves him the room. And in doing so, even with a bit of a slide, Sergio gets a better exit and just drives ahead once again.
Sakura saying, quoting some Dutchy from F1, a effing disaster. He also says, how did Sergio not touch with Max? I don't know.
Max did very well just to pull up before touching. They were as close as you can get. But Max seeming to struggle a little bit more in this middle and final part of the lap. But just
Sergio certainly carries the speed better in the BMW in that last sector especially.
you can see him, he's looking, trying to get a little mistake out of Sergio, but Sergio's not letting up just yet. As they head into turn 2 once again.
Meanwhile, there is also a battle happening for the last podium position between Hooper and Ren. Whilst this battle goes on, let's have a look at some race stats. Sender is still your race leader, but still needs to pit. And also, Sender holds the fastest lap of the race at a 1:31.69.
Ren's made good advantage of going long before taking his mandatory stop. He had the clean air and that allowed him to get a good gap to Crow, and that getting out of that battle has allowed him to chase down Hooper.
Very, very good move there.
Let's see if Hooper can hold his nerves and hold on to a podium.
Well, Hooper's got 7 laps to hold on to third. That is still a long way, as Ren already going for the inside dive. Hooper just edging out his opponent there. Ren looking for a switchback, but can't make it happen just yet.
Yeah, Phoenix currently still behind Sergio, but both of them are slowly catching in fairness. The gap's down to 2.5 seconds. So as long as they don't cost themselves too much time, it could be a 3-way fight for P6.
Hooper is still under immense pressure from Ren here.
He's holding on well so far as they come through the corkscrew. Oh, meanwhile Sergio's just gone wide, and that's allowed Phoenix to slip up for P7. And he can begin his charge to catch up to Infernus. He has 2.5 seconds to catch up.
Sergio is still holding on to that 8th quite nicely.
Well, it was 7th just moments ago, and Sergius gave the position up with that mistake. But if he keeps his head down and tries to follow Phoenix, he can maybe get 7th back if they catch up to Infernus. As they're currently about to start lap 17. That leaves 6 laps to go.
Sender is in the pits.
Meanwhile, looks like Ren has got ahead of Hooper.
They certainly have. And here comes Crow to make life even worse for Hooper.
Hooper put in a good qualifying and was starting to check out not getting involved in that battle early on in the race. But the race pace just hasn't been quite as good and is starting to drop back a little. But can they hold on? No, they've got onto the gravel and that's going to allow Crow through for P4.
Hooper messing up that corner quite badly.
It was only a small error, but there's no runoff here, and so it's quite very costly. The only good thing is he's got a 20-second gap back to Infernus behind. So even with another mistake or two, he shouldn't be losing more positions. Meanwhile, Phoenix is having to defend from Sergio for P7 as Infernus is coming into the pits.
Infernus is in the pits and Phoenix only just edging out their opponent. Sergio is really looking. He's putting in the miles tonight.
Sergio might not quite have the pace to get back ahead of Phoenix on pace, but if he can keep applying some pressure, he can maybe force Phoenix into a mistake, which is, as we've said a few times and seen, is very easy to do, and maybe he can claim back that 6th place.
Hopefully they can.
Meanwhile, Aaron is still on their late recovery drive after 2 mistakes so far. Well, one that we didn't quite see if it was his fault or not. But he's up into P12 ahead of Root Turtle and Star.
Root Turtle, though, is still roughly hanging on to the back of McGrath, so not making his life too easy. But McGrath has got the pace, so Root Turtle should not be a problem.
The question is, does Aaron have enough pace to catch Apollo for P11? It's a 4-second gap, but it is coming down as is just under 4 laps to go. Can he make can he hunt down Apollo and get up into P11? As Infernus making his mandatory pit stop quite late there, has come out in P10, just less than a second behind Robin. So can Dave start?
Robin is certainly looking. They're looking for a chance to hold off that monster vet. We have got just over 3 laps remaining of this race.
There'll be 4 laps to go for Robin and Infernus as they head through turn 2 now. Can Dave start applying the pressure? As Robin a little bit deep into turn 3 there.
Oh, and Dave gets a bit of a twitch on the exit.
At the same time, Sergio still isn't letting up on Phoenix. That gap's still just about half a second.
Effis, you wonderful little Belgian waffle. No worries about it. How are you, my friend? Sakura saying in chat, Robin is making confused Audi panic noises.
So we've got 2 battles on the go as with about 2.5
Robin
laps
goes
to go.
in the sand. We've got Robin and Infernus and Phoenix and Sergio. Both having great battles, both putting in the work to keep their respective positions or overtake. Well, Effis, I'm glad last Saturday hit a good chord with you.
Dave really starting to apply the pressure to Robin. He's starting to look for gaps now and starting to make Robin go defensive. Can Robin hold on for the 3 laps that they have remaining? They're not quite lapped by the leader just yet, so they'll get to finish the race. They come up to the corkscrew. Dave just having to let off for the braking zone, not to get into the side of Robin. Robin leaving a bit of space just in case anyway. This battle really is on for P9.
You did do a good job, Effis. You really did do a good job on Saturday. But coming back to today, we're about to be on for the leaders, the final lap, and Sendit has had quite an uneventful race so far.
He grabbed pole in qualifying. He drove away from the battles at the front and just had cleaner to hold on to his lead.
It's going to be quite something now, as Huracan is certainly going to put his money where his mouth is in race 2.
The reverse grid race indeed. As in Furnace and Robin still going at it. Robin's gone wide a couple of times, which has given Dave a couple of looks, but he's not been able to get alongside just yet.
Infernus looking their best.
Just a bit wider and fallen back. That gap opens up to about a second now.
And what's worse is Sendit is about to appear behind Infernus.
The good thing is they'll get to the end of... Sendit will get to the end of the race before these two will have to worry about him.
There's the race leader coming up behind Infernus. Infernus has 1 lap to make this happen.
Meanwhile, Phoenix has pulled a 3-second gap to Sergio. So it's all on Dave now to try and see if they can get a final position in this final lap.
Fizzbomb in chat saying hello Fizzbomb, how are you?
Oh, sorry. Aaron's just got past Apollo for P11 as they go on to start their final lap.
Very nice. But the winner of this race has crossed the line. Mr. TXR Sendit is your race winner of race 1 here at Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca. Closely followed, not that closely, by AMS Huracan in second and FTC Ren in third. But Ren and Crow are having a battle to the line. But it's just not enough as Ren takes third. Crow is in fourth. Hooper's in fifth. Phoenix, from their first dramatic spin, made a great recovery to 6th place as they are about to cross the line now. That's 6th place for Phoenix. Sergio follows suit in 7th. Juba in 8th. And here comes the battle between Robin and Infernus. Infernus touching his rear, trying to get past. It's not going to be enough.
It's just too little too there. He couldn't find a gap in the down corners of the race. And Dave will have to settle for P10. As Aaron takes home P11 after a couple of incidents ahead of Apollo in P12. Returtle's going to come across the line for 13th with Star and Sinon rounding out our 15 car grid further back.
Well, as we watch Start, who is getting ever closer to the finish line, let's have a look at chat. We've got Hooper saying not bad. Huracan saying didn't want to sweat to catch send it, so settled in for second. Huracan, you lie. Huracan, you lie. Sakura saying GG Robbie. F is saying Hooper, how is the cube grinding going? Jubit saying I got 8th. We know, we saw, very well done. And as you can see, that's the timer that's just gone off. Robin saying still a shame I messed up trying to dive on the inside of you. That was a good race one.
That was. Usually race one's pretty calm, but we'd still had battles throughout, keeping it interesting. A couple of incidents, but some good comebacks. Phoenix throughout the entire race and Aaron at the dying stages of it.
Who surprised you during that race so far, Scotty?
I was certainly impressed by Hooper putting it on second and holding on to it at the start of the race. I would have loved to have seen if they could have held on to fourth if they didn't make that little mistake. But also Phoenix getting it up through the field to get sixth. That's probably the best he could have done, ending up at the back of the grid 2 corners into the race. So impressed by those performances, I am indeed.
I will agree with you on Phoenix for that, because after that first spin I thought he's going to be at the back for the rest of the race, and no, he finished up. So let's remind you of our finishing of race grid of race 1. We had Send It in first, Huracan in second, Ren in third, Crow 4th, Hooper 5th, Phoenix in 6th, Sergio in 7th, Jubit in 8th, Robin 9th, Infernus rounding off the top 10. Aaron McGrath just missing out on the top 10 due to the 2 incidents they had. Apollo in 12th, Rude Turtle in 13th, Star in 14th, and Sinon in 15th. And surprisingly, no DNFs. Oh, Star said his controller decided to turn off twice. Oof.
Oh, that's unfortunate. That would explain the gap they had to the back of the field. But hopefully that will be the end of controller issues for them this evening, and they can try and make some positions in the reverse grid race.
Hopefully. Hopefully. Ooh, and in the 2 worst places as well, he said the first time it died was into the corkscrew, and the second time was on the exit of turn 1.
Luckily, this track does have a fair amount of runoff, so time for the car to scrub off some momentum before hitting the tire walls. Unless you're Aaron and manage to hit one of the tire walls on the apex of a corner, which I must say is a bit harsh from the game to have them so close.
That is harsh from the game.
But it is what it is. He was the only one to fall foul of them.
Now, whilst we wait for race 2 happening this Thursday, we've got the wonderful Phil and Dave doing the wonderful photography goodiness that they usually do. But on Friday, Scotty, do you know what's starting Friday?
Is it this Friday?
I'm not saying this Friday. I'm saying next Friday.
I don't know. Would it be a new series?
It is a new series. It is. It is a new series.
Would this series allow you to build your own car?
It would allow you to build your own car.
Ooh, how interesting.
So, yeah. It's our first ever race what you bring. The rules are simple. You can't drive anything that anyone else is driving, so it adds variety. And there's a load of restrictions and basic rules. So go to either our Twitter and or Discord. The rules will be in the Discord. If you haven't joined our Discord, you should, because it is one of the top places for competitive Forza racing, currently active in the Forza universe. Join our Discord, sign yourself up, build yourself a car. If you can't think of a car, they have already provided a list of about, how many cars was it? 15 to 20 vehicles? Scotty? Yeah? No? Yeah?
It
No?
will be ridiculous. There's already been some builds. Our very own Snooty has tried to build as many cars with the maximum power and minimum weight, and some of them are just crazy that we got to see during our photo shoot night. So that'll be one to look forward to. Sign-ups open this Friday at 7 p.m. BST. So make sure to join the Discord, go to the FTC Super Cup section, and to check up on all the info and sign up later this week.
Effie says, I like the idea behind the Super Cup Cruise to see what people would turn up in. If I could, I would turn up in the Alpha, the little 4C. It's got such a nippy little gearbox, great turning, and it's lightweight.
Well, I tried a 4C during our photo shoot. A very quick build, no tune. It didn't do too well, but it also had me driving it.
Yeah, and you and Curbs is reliable as something I can't say on stream.
It also didn't help. I got a little bit of assistance from someone. I will not name who they are. Weeb.
Which weeb? There's multiple weebs.
Oh yeah, true.
Is it the Matoy weeb?
I'll just leave it at a maybe. Definitely not shaking my head.
That's a yes. Gibbet says he's starting on pole. Lord have mercy. Hooper saying, Adam, I heard that. Hey, oh my god, I'm getting names mixed up everywhere. Scotty said, cough cough weeb. I just immediately gravitated towards you like a Californian to a Starbucks.
To be fair, if you say weeb, the first person I'll think of out of FTC is Hooper. And that would technically be by his own admission, as his status on Discord is largest weeb on my street.
That is a very large street then. And he just replies, bruh. Don't bruh us, Hooper. We will destroy you. We have got the microphones, you haven't. And Hooper says, why do you have to look at my Discord? Well, you don't have to set your status as that.
You tell us why your public status is that.
You can just set your public status as wannabe Matoy boy toy.
Eva's asking about my pit strategy from MEC on Saturday, where I pitted once in about the middle of the race and then pitted 3 consecutive laps at the end of the pit window. That was so I could do have 2 long stints, as long as I could possibly go, and then have 2 really short stints just to get the pit stops out of the way, because I had to do them by the end of lap 28. So
what happened, Scotty, you really messed that up, because just as you pitted, it just happened like after you pitted there was an incident where you would have gained a place.
Well, here's the thing, Metal. If I didn't pit, the first time if I didn't pit, I would have ran out of fuel. That would have been a big issue.
We're not talking about that one.
The second time I pitted, if I didn't pit that lap, I would have been penalised for not making all my mandatory pit stops before the end of the pit window.
Ah, so you were just dumb. Okay, nice to know.
Why is that dumb?
Sakura says, space them out!
Why? Generally, the further you go into this stint, the better your race pace is.
Generally, but then again, it's Forza.
Yeah, and that's Forza.
But we are seconds away from round number 2. Are you ready, Scotty?
I am indeed. Let's see what chaos we have this time. And can we get through with auto restart?
This is your audio warning. Earplugs are not provided. FTC are not liable for eardrum damage. Thank you and have a nice day. Lights out, away we go once again at Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca, where Phoenix gets a flying start off the bat. Phoenix looking very strong, taking the inside. Crow trying to sneak up the best he can along with Hooper. There's Huracan. Just behind in 8th is Send It. So all the fast boys got an incredible launch that round.
I'm surprised that this start so far has managed to be cleaner than the first race. Sergio's got a tag from Hurricane, and that's dropped him back a few positions. But Hurricane and Send It, 6th and 8th.
Here comes Hooper on the inside of Jubert. Robin touches the rear of Jubert. Jubert touching the rear of Hooper. Hooper going touching the sand.
As I think we're having a restart there. We are indeed.
Yeah.
I imagine a couple of people not too happy about how that start was developing for them. I'm not sure if we missed an instant further back too. That has caused this restart.
I believe we might have, but I have not seen anything on my screen. Robin says, well, that's never going to happen again. Robin, have faith, dear boy. Yeah, what did happen? Once again, this is your audio warning where we are not liable for burst eardrums. Have a good day. You ready, Scotty?
I am once more.
Lights out, away we go once more, and Jubit gets a very boggy start as Phoenix flies into first place this time, with Sergio and Crow sandwiching the second weave on track. Crow going on the inside, Phoenix going on the outside. Whoa, and Jubit gets sandwiched. There's nothing he could have done. That is a definite restart.
Yes. And yeah, there we go. As they tried to fit 3 cars in the same spot. Never works out, of course. And so we'll be having our second restart after it was going so well for the first few corners on the first attempt. I wonder if we'll have to have a third restart now.
And I believe this is the last time they can restart as well.
If they need one more restart, it'll be go after that. So hopefully they can get away cleanly this time and not risk having to just deal with whatever happens.
Effie says Hooper was leading only for a restart to end it. Yep, that's the way.
As we get ready to go once again. Third time's the charm. Or so they say.
Well, they say that, but eh.
That sounds like you're doubting it.
I am a little.
I'll just have to wait and see.
Let's go once more. Lights out, away we go, and Jubit gets a little bit of a better start, but Phoenix still slingshotting into the lead. Jubit this time not being sandwiched, taking it wide. Crow and Sergio taking it a little bit easier. There's a bit of door touching at the back, but nothing major.
Yeah, someone went
And
wide,
it looks like,
but they've
and it
rejoined.
looks like and Jubit's being pushed into the sand by Crow. And there comes Hooper capitalising. Here comes Huracan. And send it. Jubit's being absolutely swamped right now.
Send it after a poor launch from the Ford is already caught up to Hurricane, who got a great launch. And now they're nearly going to make it 3 wide with Crow. But Hurricane and Send it being cautious and backing out as Hooper takes a bit of a strange line going into the left-hander and gives up a few positions.
Hooper's race snapped. That's what happened. His car nearly let go. Here comes Jubit now, currently under attack from Ren as Ren gets past. Here's Sergio, another BMW looking to get past Jubit once again. Send it, and a Huracan are bashing doors. Let's go to that.
Hooper was getting out of shape from the corkscrew, but Send it on the inside of Hurricane through the final corner now. Hooper getting a big slide just behind, but Hurricane has the momentum.
Has the superior line. Nothing Send it could have done. Send it drops to 4th.
As Hooper's having to defend from Ren, who's looking to the outside of turn 2 much later on the brakes, but he's going to have to hang her around the outside. Which he's done so, and he drives into 5th place.
Ooh, Hooper trying to look for a switchback, touching the back of Ren, slows him down dramatically, allowing Jubit to slip past once more into 6th place. Hooper, though, trying to get the speed back and saying, nah, 6th place is mine.
He's trying to hold around the outside for the left-hander now. Can he make it stick? Jubber sliding just, they make a bit of contact. And Jubber has to get out of it to not spin as they go through.
Oh, but there's a 3-way battle happening up the hill for 1st place, going to the corkscrew between Crow, Phoenix and Huracan. Huracan goes deep with Crow.
Yeah, they were nearly 3 wide in the middle of the pack too, going to the corkscrew. Arnott to back out for 9th, and now Robin is trying to get past him as they go side by side. But meanwhile, Sergio takes 7th, Joubert takes 8th, and Aaron is just trying to hold on to P9.
Send it going on the outside of Crow, can't make it happen. Has to settle for 3rd right now as Phoenix has dropped to 4th and is currently being chased by Ren as well. Ren going side by side.
As Aaron makes the move on Joubert for P8. And Joubert seems to be struggling a little bit as Robin's now looking for a way pass.
Hooper's trying to have a look past Phoenix.
Oh, as Robin missed his braking point into the corkscrew, and that's going to lose him quite a few positions. It looks like he's dropped to the tail end of the field in 14th.
Robin has dropped to the tail end, and has he got damage?
No, he kept it
he's
out
not
of the
got
wall,
damage.
but Aaron's got past Sergio for P7. So Aaron making his way up through the mid-pack after his difficult first race. He's got a 4-second gap to the front pack now.
Crow is currently under attack from Ren. Ren trying their best to capitalise and get that last podium position away from Crow.
Meanwhile, Hooper's still trying to put Phoenix under pressure, but running a wheel on the sand out of turn 3. So is Phoenix a turn later. As these two can just see that battle for the final spot on the podium just ahead of them. But we've got fights further back. Infernus and Apollo are going side by side for P10. Apollo's on the outside of Infernus, and he takes the P10. Infernus
Ren.
sliding a bit, Star going a little bit wide because of that, and they just drop back from Apollo. But Infernus going for a big dive into the corkscrew, makes contact with Apollo, sending him deep. But Apollo holds on to it, and Infernus loses a few positions out to that, and he now drops to the tail of this field in P14.
Very, very upsetting for Infernus.
As now he's trying to get back at Robin for P13.
He's going around the outside. Can he make the move stick?
And contrary to the first race, Sendit's gone for an early an early stop, taking their mandatory stop.
It looks like they are certainly trying for an undercut here.
Meanwhile, Hooper's got ahead of Phoenix, but Phoenix hasn't given up. He was looking into turn 4, but he's running a little bit wide on the exit, and he might just have to give up on that battle, but should a mistake. Oh, no, he goes for a look into turn 5, but just wasn't close enough and loses out a little bit more. Meanwhile, Ren's still applying pressure to Crow for that for P2 now that Sendit's pitted.
Ren is really trying. They're really trying. Crow is shutting every single door in Ren's face that they can. Ren is looking for every single little opportunity, eking every little bit of distance towards Crow, but Crow is only slowing him down at this point as Crow is desperately clinging on to second. Crow takes a tight line, Ren takes a tighter line. Crow trying to not scrub off any speed.
Meanwhile, going into penultimate corner, Sergio go a couple of wheels on the sand and allowed Joubert to sneak up his inside for P7. As Infernus has come in to make their mandatory pit stop.
With Infernus in, the battle between Crow and Ren rages on.
Oh, and Phoenix trying to apply the pressure to Hooper's got onto grass going into turn 3.
Here comes Ren on the inside. Crow and Ren are side by side. And Crow just, and I mean just, shuts the door on Ren's face once again. Ren going for a dive on the corkscrew. Can't make it happen as Crow just manages to slip away once more like the slippery little fish he is desperately trying to be.
Looking at the lap times, Harkin's doing a 32.1 at the front of the field last lap. Meanwhile, Senda did a 37, losing 5 seconds in the last lap. So has this early stop cost Senda a chance at the win?
It might have actually, because with the amount of traffic that he will be facing, I mean, just look at 9th place onwards. It is a train of cars.
And he's round the Melvick, going up the inside of Star into turn 1. He's gonna move down before the braking zone of turn 2 now. He just has Apollo ahead of him. Harkin saying 32.0 that last lap. As I wait for the ticker to scroll, Jubber's out wide and he's got to lose positions. But Senda going round the outside of Apollo has grabbed P8 now, thanks to Jubber's mistake.
Going to chat quickly. FTC is here with the Belgian waffle fun fact of the day. He says, you know the big chungus container ship that got stuck in the Suez Canal? The guys from Microsoft Flight Sim have actually replicated it in-game, and you can see it when you fly over. Oof.
That's a nice little touch. Good job, Devs.
Can you imagine if you're the captain of that boat, though? Not only is your fuck-up broadcast on Worldwide News, it is now immortalised in a game.
Although, do we know who the captain was?
Captain, I don't want to be here?
Well, if it's not publicly known who the captain was, I think they've got away with that. As meanwhile, we have one of the Porsches. It is Crow in the pits now, making their stop. They're going to come out behind, send it.
Aaron McGrath having one of the most aggressive braking points I've ever seen. They're certainly pushing it, currently up in 5th place.
Meanwhile, Send It still losing time to Harkin out front, who did a 31.9 last lap, where Send It only did a 32.1. And he's already going to have time to make up for after being stuck in the traffic.
Effis in chat saying, I'm the captain now. If that's the case, Effis, do we blame you for the Suez Canal then?
I say we do.
Well, that's already a vote against the Belgians.
Sorry, not sorry.
One more, and it's to the Gulag. Meanwhile, Star is trying to catch up to Agile Apollo as they run a bit wide on the sand.
Meanwhile, Hooper must have made a mistake somewhere because Phoenix has got back ahead of him. But he's once again applying the pressure to Phoenix. He's looking to the inside of the Fallon corner. He goes for a dive. He gets a little bit deep and Phoenix just cuts back under him to hold on to the position.
Hooper is still chasing Phoenix with all their might for that final podium position. Seca in chat saying backlash immediately, haha. Bossman Jax is in chat saying, I got Effis. I saw the meme in my head.
And now Crew having made their pit stops, trying to get past Apollo. They go for a big dive into turn 1. Can they get stopped? They do just about. But Apollo's doing well to hold it on the outside now. They bang wheels as they come out of the corner. Apollo hits the inside for turn 3. Crew now trying to hold around the outside. And he's got P8 and some cleaner in front of him to set some good lap times.
But Apollo is taking a tight line to try and keep up with the Feathered Fiend. F is back in chat saying we should blame Richard Hammond for crashing that container ship.
Meanwhile, Robin and Infernus are having a fight coming out of turn 3. It looked like Robin went round the outside of Infernus to take P11 from him. As our leader Hurricane comes in for their pit stop.
Crow is still being chased down by Agile, Apollo and Star as Star gets a bit twitchy and drops back, but Apollo is certainly getting as much tow as they can.
Apollo's focus here should be just trying to stay as close as they can to Crow, as they've already made their pit stop, as we see Sergio in the pits. But Crow's driving away from Apollo, so he's not doing too great of a job. But it's more about fighting the people around him and not the people who have already made their pit stops.
Meanwhile, Hooper is still on the rear of Phoenix, trying their best to look for that way past them.
Meanwhile, since Hurricane's come out of the pits, there's a 1.2 second gap between the two as Apollo's got wide, and that's allowed Star to get up into P8. But Phoenix defending hard from Hooper, sorry now.
Phoenix not wanting to lose any time, tries to go for the undercut. Hooper up into second place for now. Meanwhile, Huracan is charging towards the rear.
As Apollo also comes in to make their pit stop after that mistake, the light start to get past them.
Huracan is kissing the rear of McGrath, gently nudging them, saying, "Hey buddy, I'm here, get out of my way."
And we also have Jubert fighting Rude Turtle for P13 towards the tail end of the field. I don't know if either of them have made their pit stops yet. But Apollo just about gets ahead of Infernus. As Sendit has just got past Aaron. As he goes on trying to chase down Hurricane.
Huracan is certainly pushing for that top spot position because Ren is in the pits and Sendit is trying to chase that pink fiend that is Huracan.
Dubert's still applying pressure to Root Turtles. They come into the corkscrew now. Dubert just trying to be patient. Not make any mistake that will cause a collision. As Ren has managed to get out of the pits 2 seconds ahead of Crow. And Apollo's now looking to make a move on Robin for P9. He's got the inside, but Robin's once again, as many other people have, trying to hold around the outside, which he's done so far. He's got the inside for turn 3. Apollo runs a little bit wide, which allows Robin to hold on to the position for now.
Robin is still trying to hold off Infernus as... Who was that who just run wide? I believe that was Star who just run wide. Oh, and Huracan is being caught up by Send It little by little.
As Akira saying, it was Robin that got out a bit wide. As the gap for the lead currently 1.3 seconds as they head towards the corkscrew. Hooper has managed to get ahead of Phoenix and leads them by about 1.2 seconds. And Furnace is following Apollo for P9 by just under a second. And Jubair is still putting the pressure on Rude Turtle, who runs a bit wide in turn 4. But Jubair just not able to get enough of a run to take advantage of it. Rude Turtle defending. Jubair's got alongside. They're now side by side as they out up to the fast left-hander before the corkscrew.
Oh, and Rude Turtle was wide and goes in the sand.
Jubair went in a little bit deep, which sort of forced Rude Turtle off, so he's politely given the position back.
Good racing, we always like to see.
As Jubair looking to make a clean move here. Has a look into the final corner, but the space just gets shut on him. Meanwhile, the gap for the leads come down to 0.4 of a second. Send It really starting to apply the pressure for the lead.
Oh, and Rude Turtle goes very wide as Jubert just makes the overtake happen. They're up to 13th. But the battle is really hotting up for first now, as Send It is right on the tail of Huracan.
Send It gained just over half a second on Hurricane in the last lap. Into the 31.6, whereas Hurricane had a 32.1. Can Hurricane hold on to the lead? With 8 laps to go. Meanwhile, Apollo's looking to make a move on Infernus in turn 2. He's got down the inside for P9. And Robin's looking to try and make a move too. Infernus just gets on the sand and loses out to Robin. So that's Apollo and Robin up into P9 and 10 respectively. As Star will be now looking to close in and put the pressure on Infernus to try and get P11.
Mind you, Send It is still all over the rear of Huracan looking. Oh, and Send It bumps the side of Huracan.
I think Sinon got into the back of Send It there, which caused that incident.
Send It gives the position back.
As now Robin's looking to apply pressure to Apollo to get that P9, and that's allowed Infernus to close back up again. They touch going into the final corner. Robin to the outside. Apollo just squeezes him off on the exit, and Infernus unable to get the traction down to get alongside Robin down the start-finish straight.
Sender is certainly trying to chase down Huracan, doing their best, but Huracan is continuously shutting the door.
Apollo got a bit wide coming out of turn 2 and give Robin a chance to the inside of turn 3, but Apollo held it to the outside of him. But this 3-car battle's getting ever intense. Robin to the inside now. He's not far enough up the inside. Nice.
Robin looking very strong.
He's looking for a move through the left-hander, but it's pretty much single file through there. As they head up to the corkscrew. Who's going to get their braking right? Infernus looks to the inside of Robin. Robin leaves the space, maybe a little bit too much space, and that allows Infernus to slip through for P10 and starts to open up that gap for Apollo. Well, that just begin to relieve the pressure and allow him to start to eke away ahead of them.
Let's have a look who else is close on track. Apollo is quite close to the front of Infernus. Infernus trying their best to chase down Apollo.
Both Hurricane and Sender are getting a couple of wheels on the sand as they fight for the lead. The gap just 0.3 of a second as they come out of the final corner. Heading towards turn now. Send it in the slipstreams, they go over the crest. Send it just not close enough to make a move. He closes right up to Hurricane's rear bumper. But Hurricane gets a better exit. As Star is going for a move on Robin into the corkscrew, has to cut the first part of it not to make a collision and slides on the exit, losing time. Ambitious move, but did well not to make any contact.
Did very well.
Interesting to see the lines between Hurricane and Send It. It looks like there's a little bit of a light collision that got Hurricane sideways, but Send It can only get into his rear bumper.
Send It cannot be any further up his rear bumper if he tried.
He's even closer this lap. The gap only 0.2 as they come down the start-finish straight. He's riding the slipstream. It's 0.1 now. As they head over the crest, Send It. He goes for it. He's sending it. Hurricane's trying to shut the door on him.
For it. Send It's living up to his name.
Hurricane gets a better run on the outside. But Send It, not wanting to give up, is already back on that rear bumper. But gets a poor exit.
Send It is drastically trying their best now to try to overtake Huracan. Got under 4 laps for Send It to make this move stick. He hasn't got the most time, but he's got an ample amount of time. One mistake for Send It here and he is done.
He's just got to keep the pressure on Hurricane. As he's see how much he closes up in the braking zone into the corkscrew, but he loses out on the exit. But look at that
That
tight
Mustang
entry.
does suffer.
Look at that tight entry to the left-hander, just trying to look for the space, put himself in the mirrors. As both of them run a little bit wide, send it all four wheels onto the sand. And that's allowed Harkin to open up a bit of a gap. As they come across the line, send it losing 0.3 of a second that lap. But Send it just looks a bit more confident under the brakes. But just can't hold it on the exits.
Send it suffers with a little bit of understeer from that Mustang. It's just, it is a heavy vehicle, but so is that Audi. The only thing Huracan has got going for him right now is that four-wheel drive.
You can see the Mustang just moving around a little.
Oh, and Huracan gets a tiny bit twitchy as well.
As they head up into the corkscrew. The gap nearly deceivingly disappears before opening up once again. As they head into the final corner. They're not too far from catching a bit of lapped traffic. As it looks like Robin was trying to get a move on Apollo for P9.
What's bad for Huracan here is they're about to enter backmarker traffic. However, they are also doing their best to try and stay with one another as well. Rutel will be their first obstacle, which I know Huracan is going to try and send it off his rear and create a bit of distance. I've got less than 2 laps now remaining.
Aaron is starting to put pressure on Phoenix as we come onto the penultimate lap. He's nearly into the rear bumper of him into turn 2. Just half a second separates these two. Harkin making his way past Stubart as he comes on to start the final lap ahead of Sendit. Into turn 2. Sendit not close enough to make him. Oh, he goes for it.
Oh! He's certainly looking for it.
He's got the inside of turn 3 as I watch this back on the stream. Can he make a stick? It doesn't look like it, but has he got the cutback? He has indeed. Send it now on the outside. Harkin deeper on the brakes. Once again, Send it going for the cutback. If he can make it work, he'll have the inside. But no, he hasn't. He slots back in for second. As Aaron goes for a dive on Phoenix into turn 2 on the final lap. Aaron looking to squeeze Phoenix out on the exit. But Phoenix with...
Will Aaron do it?
Phoenix with the all-wheel drive was able to stick it up on the inside of turn 3.
Will they do it? Will they? Oh, and someone went off. That was Sinan.
Harkin now into the final corner. Sandit looks for a move up the inside. But surely Harkin's going to get the better run off the corner. He does indeed.
He does.
And that's going to be P1 for Harkin. Sandit's going to have to settle for second. Ren is going to come home in third.
Though.
Crow is holding on to fourth, just ahead of Hooper. With 2 corners to go. Hooper's got a run. He's looking to the outside of the penultimate corner. Crow holding on for now. As they enter the final corner, he's going defensive. Can Hooper get the better run out of the final corner? He goes for the cutback, but with the traction of the rear-engined Porsche, Crow holds on to P4. Hooper takes P5. Aaron fighting Phoenix for P6 now. He's on the outside. Once again, he favours from the Porsche's traction and now drags Phoenix towards the line, taking P6 ahead of him. Phoenix holding has to settle for P7. And Sergio now, on his own at the end of this race, will have to, has a nice P8. Apollo now, he's been under pressure for most of this race and he's got a bit of lap traffic to get through. Robin clips the inside wall of the penultimate corner. That allows Star to get up into P10. Robin not done yet though, sending it on the final corner. Can Star get the good exit? No, it doesn't look like it. Robin getting just holding on to P10 in the final corner.
Robin just gets P10. Holy hell. Star finishing in 11th. Infernus in 12th. Jubert gonna come home in 13th. Rude Turtle in 14th. And Sinan will round off the pack here today.
And breathe. That was a good race.
That was a very good race.
Some very close battles.
We're just waiting for the timer, and then whilst we're waiting for the timer, Scotty, let's discuss the obligatory driver of the day.
Driver of the day. Well, firstly, Harkin saying props to Send It for giving him the place back after being hit by a back marker.
Yeah.
Which is very respectable.
Props to Send It. There is one name, though, that is glaring out to me.
And what is that name?
That name is Phoenix. After race 1, and still finishing up a respectable 7th, I have to say that Phoenix is my driver of the day.
Phoenix certainly had a really good first race. If it was driver of the day for the second race would be Aaron for me, but he just made that mistake in the first race that meant they had to make that comeback drive. So I would say Phoenix just has to take it for me too.
Well, there you go. There you have it. That's the end of the Speed World GT series. We really hope you enjoyed it. We really hope you engage with it. If you think you can take on some of these drivers in this lobby, get yourself signed up in the Discord, and we hope to see you on track with our next series starting soon. I might add, wink wink. But until then, there's only one thing I really have to say.
When can we catch the live stream?
The next time we can catch a live stream of FTC, it will be on Thursday with our wonderful photographers of Mr. Phil and Dave doing some of the best forward photography you have ever seen in your life, so don't forget to miss that. And we hopefully will see you there. In the meantime, though, I have been your host, Mr. Gage. My co-host in with me, Mr. That Scotty Guy. Thank you for joining.
Pleasure indeed.
Send some best wishes to Haseo, and we hope to see you in the next stream. Bye!
Night, all.